Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of a Nation Wave, and this is day 18 of the April daily draws. So let's see what message we get as we start the weekend. And I'll be taking the first card from the Good Fortune Tarot, followed by an oracle card from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. Ten of Wands. Sometimes life does get a bit, where it gets a bit hard sometimes. Sometimes the weight of responsibility and the things that we have to do, it can weigh heavily upon us, and it can make us a bit weary. But we have to remember the reason that we're doing it. He's carrying all this stuff because he wants to make this tree house, which in this deck does reappear finished, a physical, a finished manifestation in the Ten of Pentacles. But this is before that stage. But he's doing it to get to that stage. And in the Ten of Pentacles, obviously, there's the family setting, and the children are there that's going to use this tree house that he's building. And it involves hard work, it involves heavy lifting, and we're not all actually physically building a tree house or anything of that nature. Some of us might be doing a building project, but even everything we do sometimes has the weight of responsibility and just the toll of the effort and of the energy we have to put into it to get it done. But the good news here is that most of it's complete. All of it's complete. And it seems to be that he's tired, he's feeling the weight of it, but also the end is in sight. To me, and tens are the end of a cycle before we begin again with the aces. So tends do tend to be a culmination of everything before we start all the process again with something else. So that's what they represent. And this represents getting near to the end, but sometimes that last little bit is the hardest, isn't it? It's the part that takes the most out of us. But the way we get through it is to remember the purpose for that we're doing it. He's got the vision of what he wants to achieve, and he's doing it for the benefit of his family, particularly his children that are going to use this treehouse. He's not just doing it for himself. So he knows it's going to be worth the effort. And that's what helps him see it through to the end. And sometimes, that's what we need. We need that motivation. We need that reason, that sense of purpose to carry the heavy load sometimes. Because sometimes we have no choice. This card is sometimes said to represent things like, make sure, don't carry burdens that aren't yours. And that is true. That's good advice. Make sure that what you're carrying, what you're carrying the weight of in your life is yours to carry, and you're not carrying it for somebody else when they should be carrying it. Only carry what's yours to carry. But even if when you take that on board, sometimes the things that we do have to carry do weigh heavily upon us. And that's just part of life. We don't, we can't get away from that. That's the way it is. And we all have these times in our lives where we just have to get down to it, no matter, how tough it gets. But when we're near the saying, the hardest part can be when we're near finishing something, but when that end is in sight, that end in itself is the motivation. We push through and see it through to the end. And what I think this card is saying today is, no matter how difficult you're finding it, you're nearly there. See it through to the end, and you'll be rewarded by what you accomplish, by sticking through it. Don't give up. Finish it, cross that line, and get the end result, and it'll be worth it in time. Assuming, of course, that what we're doing is something of worth to us that we will enjoy and care about. If not, if we're just toiling because it's expected of us, but our heart's not in it, then it gets even harder to finish it, because our heart's not in it. Is it really worth spending our energy on something that we're really not into? So let's be careful about what we do, what we do commit this energy to. But with all that said in mind, the main message is you're nearly there. You can do this. Yes, it feels heavy, but you can see it through to the end. Okay, let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. The snake shed old skin. We've had similar cards to this, didn't we? There was a card, something about release the old. I forget what oracle card that was. Pave the way for the new, or something like that. And this is a similar process. Like a snake sheds its skin. It sheds its skin, and when it's done with it, it's served its purpose, it's worn out a bit, and it sheds it, and it has a new skin, and it goes through that. And it can be, it can, it's not very pleasant. It's not a very pleasant experience for a snake. It irritates it. It's not, don't disturb a snake when it's shedding, because it's going to be more aggressive. But it does the snake good. It helps, he needs to shed that skin. And sometimes we need to shed something to lighten the load, or to release something that's not necessary anymore. And part of the responsibilities and the things that we carry is that if there are things that we need to shed, to release, to get rid of, that we don't need to be doing anymore, then that's what we need to do. We need to shed that old skin. And it may be difficult for us. It may be an uncomfortable thing to do, but it'd be necessary to free us up to move forward. And I believe that is what the message of the cards is today. Okay, so that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 19. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.